Hello, it's Dawn Michelle from Boho Tarot, and today we'll be exploring the beautifully feminine and sacred Tarot of Transformation by Willow Arlania. The Tarot of Transformation is a sensual, powerful, and as the name suggests, transformative tarot. The spirited imagery is a beautiful blend of earthy shamanic vibrations with celestial energy that draws us deep into ourselves, even as it asks us to connect with the universal oneness that flows through all of us. As the book's tagline suggests, it is truly a deck for charting your own course to healing and spiritual awakening. The artwork alone drew me to this lovely deck, for it draws up that deep grounded energy that roots you back into your body while it pulls from the collective consciousness that stirs in your soul. It is a deck that I found does not wish to be rushed or glossed over. Alive with deep and insightful imagery, it encourages you to sit in meditation, to ground into your authentic self, and to stretch your beliefs and dive into the transformative work of understanding and healing. There is much to be discovered within these 78 images, not only in rich symbols and archetypes, but within your own heart and mind. The symbols seep into the unconscious self, where they work magic deep beneath your awareness. They speak directly to the psyche, giving rise to your inner voice, unmediated by the ego mind. In the guidebook written by Jasmine Lee Corey, we learn that the underlying perspective of this deck is one oriented toward deep spiritual transformation. We can see this path toward inner exploration laid out through the archetypes of the majors and suits of the minor arcana. The major arcana reflect the archetypal principles involved in the spiritual journey. With the non-traditional meanings, the cards have largely been approached in a different way, sometimes even shifting the energy completely. For example, in Arcana 20, we find the traditional energy of absolution or rebirth and transform it into compassion by transcending judgment. We find this reimagining of archetypes, energies, and titles throughout the majority of the deck. The creator's goal in this reworking was to allow this deck to speak to the current age and the particular challenges we face. Let's take a look at the major arcana and see how they have been expanded and transformed. We begin with the Fool, who asks the question, innocence or ignorance? The Magician, master of conscious creation. The High Priestess, feminine mysteries and intuitive wisdom. The Earth Mother, Queen of Life. For the Emperor, we have the Green Man, ruling in harmony with nature. For the Hierophant, we have spiritual leaders, taking the Hierophant off the pedestal. For the Lovers, we have love in the highest octave. For the Chariot, we have agent of change. For Justice, we see balance, restoring cosmic order. For the Hermit, we have the Crone, the light of introspection. For the Wheel of Fortune, we have flowing with change. For Strength, we have moving from the core. For the Hanged Man, we have not in control. Death, we have grieving and letting go. Temperance, we find integrating polarities. In the Devil, we have separation from the source. 16, for the Tower, we have Kali, shattering the structure. For the Star, we have guiding light. In the Moon, we have peace in the darkness. For the sun, we have the radiance of being. For compassion, we have transcending judgment for the card of judgment. And for the world, we have the cosmos, the multidimensional universe. Throughout the minors, we continue this journey of spiritual transformation, weaving throughout the inner landscape of the heart and mind to radiate outward into our interconnected world. The suit of swords speaks to the thoughts and beliefs associated with the mental realm, while the cups ebb and flow through the emotional waters of persona, feelings, and relationships. The suit of discs explores our connection to the material world. Rich with animal imagery, we focus on manifestation and integration. The suit of wands draws us deep within, exploring the chi or life force that flows through each of the chakras. In the quartz, we find another reworking, with each of the 4 cards representing 4 different ways to express the gifts of each of the suits. Our pages have been assigned to the role of server, representing the drive to help others. They offer the gift of being of service. Our once ambitious knights find a home as the teachers, who aim to share the knowledge of a particular suit or embody the way in which we learn it. In our queens, we find our healers, who nurture the gifts of each suit within themselves as well as within others. The kings are represented by the masters, who embody the most comprehensive expression of their suits, building on all the previous lessons and representing the integrated wholeness. Let us take a look now at how each of these themes and ideas have been represented in the suit of the heart, mind, body, and spirit. For the Ace of Swords, we have point of origination. For the Two of Swords, we have creative differences. For the Three of Swords, we have moving toward freedom. For the Four of Swords, we have stabilizing mind. For the Five of Swords, holding the vision. For the Six of Swords, structures for the journey. For the Seven of Swords, the rainbow bridge. For the Eight of Swords, equanimity. The Nine of Swords, trust walk. The Ten of Swords, leaving the story. The Server of Swords for the page, cutting away illusion. The Teacher of Swords for the knight, inquiring mind. The Healer of Swords for the queen, mapping the mind. And the Master of Swords for the king, reading the web. For the Ace of Cups, dissolving into oneness. For the Two of Cups, authentic connection. The Three of Cups, receiving grace. The Four of Cups, untying the mask. The Five of Cups, natural intimacy. The Six of Cups, sharing support. The Seven of Cups, drama queen. The Eight of Cups, human doing. The Nine of Cups, mental detour. The Ten of Cups, joyous flow. The Server of Cups, attending to emotional needs. The Teacher of Cups, exploring the inner landscape. The Healer of Cups, healing the inner child. The Master of Cups, abiding in love. The Ace of Discs, birth into form. Two of Discs, balance in material life. Three of Discs, integrated work. Four of Discs, manifesting home. Five of Discs, releasing stuck energy. 6 of discs, web of life. 7 of discs, incubation. 8 of discs, skillful preservance. 9 of discs, intellectual wisdom. 10 of discs, the great view. Server of discs, loyal friend. Teacher of discs, passionate play. Healer of discs, healing the planet. Master of discs, gracious abundance. Ace of Wands, grounding for creativity. The Two of Wands, healing sexual energy. 3 of Wands, authentic nourishment. 4 of Wands, opening the heart. The 5 of Wands, freeing your expression. The 6 of Wands, inner seeing. 7 of Wands, opening to angels. 8 of Wands, dream time. 9 of Wands, tantric sexuality. 10 of Wands, no self. Server of Wands, transmitter of light. Teacher of Wands, spirit in matter. Healer of Wands, vibrational healing. Master of Wands, temple of the goddess. The comprehensive guidebook dives deep into the often murky and troublesome waters of inner healing. Within its pages, you will find the standard working with this deck introduction, card descriptions and interpretations, and even handy keyword charts for quick reference. Where this guidebook charts its own course is through the stepping stones of transformation. As the author states, every topic discussed in this deck, whether it's creating balance in your life, working with the shadow, recovering your instinctual wisdom, releasing your stuck energy, the need to inspire and refresh yourself, dealing with doubt, or developing compassion, is a building block of transformation. This approach to the writings takes this book from a mere instruction manual to a transformative tool for inner work, spiritual awareness, and authentic healing. Every card description includes gifts or pearls of wisdom to help you do the courageous work of bringing wholeness to your being. We find not only divinatory messages, but actionable opportunities to facilitate awareness, growth, and transformation. Take, for example, the Hanged Man, who represents an opportunity for deep spiritual work. Within the guidebook, we learn that when this card appears, humility is often called for to release the ego and surrender into the flow. It suggests that now is a good time for meditation and prayer to let your mind settle. We can further explore this through contemplation, meditation, or exploration of the artwork within each image. A read through the commentary on the artist's interpretation reveals that within the Hanged Man, we see a man's soul or astral body journeying to another realm where it can receive spiritual knowledge. The meld of interpretation, inspiration, and information makes this guidebook not only a suitable deck companion, but a journey through one's own healing and transformation. The Tarot of a Transformation is a deck born of deep reflection and inner contemplation. I found these cards to be quite versatile. The energetic and detailed artwork invites metamorphic pathworking as you journey through the images. It is particularly well suited for meditation and daily pulls for energies or single messages. Where this deck really steps into its power is in terms of readings attuned to cultivating inner awareness, personal growth, healing, connectivity, and spiritual journeying. Whether you are doing a simple 3-card reading or an expanded whole self check-in, you will find a wealth of insights to explore and messages to consider. Oftentimes, when working with this deck, I would sit with a single 3-card spread for days at a time. This allowed me to make space for the insight to really sink in, for the messages to take root while I returned to journey through the artwork again and again. While this is certainly a deck that can be used for any type of reading, it seems energetically attuned for those deep, transformative reading experiences. The cardstock, as I have noted before, is a bit of a disappointment. It is rather flimsy and papery, thinner than even a greeting card. I'm getting quite a bit of wear and tear and chipping on the edges. However, that thin cardstock does mean that this deck shuffles quite well. It's a bit closer to oracle size, hard for my small hands to wrap around, and sometimes that can make shuffling a challenge. But the crisp and clear printing of the cards, those deep and vibrant colors, more than makes up for the lacking tactile experience. The borders are quite large on this deck. The images are bordered within a border. The artwork is not all printed to the same specifications, so if you're considering trimming this deck, be aware of the size variations. The color printing of the borders relates to each of the 5 suits in the deck: purple for the majors, pink for the wands, blue for the cups, yellow for swords, and green for discs or pentacles. As these are similar to my own color associations for the tarot, this palette works well for me on a visual level. Each card is labeled with large, easy-to-read titles. The name and number is featured at the bottom with a unique key phrase printed at the top. These key phrases and I haven't quite come to terms yet. Some resonate well with my association of individual cards, while others, sadly, miss the mark for me. I did not find myself relying too heavily on those key phrases during readings. I let the artwork and the imagery draw out more intuitive messages. The Tarot of Transformation is a self-published deck available from mysticlifedesign.com. It does not come in a box, so you will need to secure your own storage method. In working with this deck very intensively for the last couple of months, what really resonated most with me was that the artwork is earthy, spiritual, and powerful. There's a definite feminine energy to the deck that draws throughout every one of the 78 cards. It is a deck deeply attuned to spiritual awakening and personal transformation, and works beautifully as a meditation tool in addition to readings. I found it to be loving and supportive, but also challenging when needed. It brings things to light and then offers you solutions. My only challenge with this deck has been in terms of the cardstock. It is rather flimsy and floppy, and I fear that it's not going to physically hold up to the amount of work I want to do with it. To remedy this situation, I will probably reinforce it with contact paper on the back. It's also a bit big and bulky for me to handle, so I will most likely be trimming it. The Tarot of Transformation is a stunningly illustrated deck, rooted deep into the earth, but alive with cosmic vibrations. It has a beautiful and soft feminine energy that brought my inner goddess to the surface. It is indeed a powerful and integrated tool to help you navigate your journey to healing on your path of transformation. Thank you for taking this journey with me through the Tarot of Transformation. I hope that you enjoyed exploring this deck and will join me again soon for more creative tarot for an inspired life.